You are about to see the exact reason why your country shouldn't take money from China. Last year I warned you with this video about China's plan to take over the world by putting poorer nations in debt. This video exposes the first official sign of that. By now, everyone knows that countries take money from China, but not everyone knows the true scale of that. According to research, there are 165 countries that have debt to China. That is literally almost the whole world. And all of this money taking officially makes China the #1 creditor in the world. And as we all know, sometimes the creditor has to come back and claim what's theirs. And so China came. There is a country that just lost their only international airport because they couldn't pay the debt. Now the airport belongs to China. Can you guess which country is it? Its capital city is Kampala, and it is officially the most ethnically diverse country in the world. Is it the Philippines, Uganda, Bhutan, or Ukraine? In the last couple of days, the world reported about Uganda losing its biggest and only international airport to China. All because they reportedly failed to repay their loan. And this is just the first step of many more where China comes to collect their debt, slowly taking over poorer nations. And that is exactly why last year I made this video saying why your country shouldn't be selling out to China. Because when a country borrows money to fund a specific project and later on they are not able to pay, they have to give China one by one their properties, assets, buildings, lands, and as crazy as it may sound, one day even their country. Here's how it works. In 2015, one of China's biggest banks lent Uganda $207 million to expand its most prominent and the country's most important airport. $207 million, 20 years to pay, and a grace period of 7 years. But somehow, only 6 years later, China is already preparing to take over. While both Ugandan and Chinese governments have denied the takeover, the debt trap that China put many nations in is undeniable. I have said it many times, and some people say that I exaggerate, but it is very clear that the Chinese Communist Party has a long-term strategy to slowly buy out the world. Things like this have been happening for a while now. For instance, in 2018, Sri Lanka, which owed China billions of dollars because they failed to pay their debt, they were allegedly forced to give their international port and 15,000 acres of their land to China. It is an obvious pattern, a pattern that ruling governments with no integrity ignore way too often. Because it is easy for the governments to take the money from China and then say to the voters, look, we are progressing, we are building our country. But these governments look at the next 5 years and not the next 20 years. That is why Uganda just lost their only international airport. That is why Sri Lanka lost their port and land. That is why many more countries will keep on slowly becoming China's possession. And so, Nightfam, I encourage you to do some research and check how much money does your country owe China. Chances are, if we don't stop our leaders from selling out, our children will be living in the global republic of China.